Deadrock is back, and we start off where we left off with Hyun and Cougar staring down each other. We then immediately go into a flashback to a place on the 306th floor called Finir Fort. And as you can imagine, it's very snowy. The entire floor seems to be just an endless blizzard. We see Hyun at age 6 training with a sword, and there's Cougar. Apparently he's his personal assistant. He's actually encouraging Hyun to go out and play with friends, but this is completely rejected. Hyun only cares about getting stronger. He has no interest in other people at all, apparently. He does seem to have some respect for Cougar, though, because Cougar is so strong and he wants to be personally trained by him. Cougar then asks him to talk to the maid over there. Hyun says, "No, I want you to be training me." But then Cougar says, "I will train you if you talk to her." Apparently, he was planning on using the kid to break the ice so he can then hit on the maid. This fails completely because the maid apparently finds Hyun to be very adorable and starts hugging him, breaking Cougar's heart. As Hyun gets older, Cougar continues to hit on even more maids, and the result is always the same. They like Hyun, not him. In fact, the last maid apparently framed in a photo of Hyun with hearts and such, and is treating him like a celebrity. Now back to the present, and Cougar's just screaming at the top of his lungs that Hyun stole all of the chicks from him. And as you can imagine, Hyun has no idea what he's talking about, because once again, he doesn't concern himself with other people, apparently. He's been focused on himself the entire time in his training to get stronger. So he didn't realize that he was a chick magnet from the very beginning, even though literally every maid threw themselves at him. Choco chimes in, criticizing Cougar, of course, because his reasoning is retarded. Hyun then immediately recognizes her as Choco. And the funny thing is, the reason why he recognizes her is because he can smell her. She, of course, gets offended by the fact that he's a man sniffing a woman, and she basically says Cougar now has a right to hate him. Cougar and Hyun clash. Hyun freezes his fist, but then of course the heat from his body melts the ice. So yeah, Cougar is able to counter Hyun's power pretty easily. Hyun tells the other two to go on without him while he takes on Cougar, but Yakuto straight up refuses this. The reason for this is because Cougar is the strongest in the school, and that means if he wants to fulfill his dream of killing God, then going through Cougar is one of the best ways to do that. Yakuto goes back into his psychopath form, which he's always a psychopath if we're being honest. He's just good at hiding it, and declares that he is going to fight Cougar. Choco, of course, points out that their whole point of doing this was to save Frey. Why are you focusing on Cougar? But then Yakuto points at the book and says, no, she's fine. Apparently, the book updates pretty rapidly. It even has moving pictures. Yeah, so Frey is currently beating the shit out of the jack-o'-lantern. Yakuto and Cougar then start to fight each other, and Yakuto is getting his ass kicked. Like, it isn't even a close fight, he's just getting beat the shit out of. Hyun then mentions that he's actually gotten stronger since the last time he saw him, and Choco asks does he have any chance of beating him then, and Hyun's response is no, and we go back into another flashback, and we end up getting the reason why the two of them joined Deadrock. Apparently, Cougar did it because he wants to become a demon lord so all the women love him. Well, you know, it's a reason. Whatever. They are demons after all. I mean, one of the big teachers is literally a succubus, so I can't fault him with his logic. It's a good reason for a demon, at least by demon standards. Hyun, on the other hand, wishes to save his people. Apparently, everyone blames his family, the Feniers, for causing floor 306 to be a winter hellscape, and he believes that if he becomes strong enough, he can fix that. I have my doubts that his family bloodline are causing this hellscape to happen, and the reason why I say that is because it's literally the underworld. Each layer is going to be a shitty layer. This just happens to be the freezing layer. And even if he did graduate and become a demon lord, I have my doubts that he could fix this problem because the underworld gets more dangerous the deeper layer you go in, which means the frozen hell is supposed to be frozen. And I just can't imagine anyone has the power to terraform the underworld. Back to the present, Yakuto gets taken to the ground again. Hyun tells him he can't win, he needs to stop. Cougar's just too strong for him, but Yakuto refuses to give up and he continues to fight forward. That's when Hyun and Cougar both remember something that Cougar told Hyun. To get stronger, you have to be willing to not back down, to keep going. That's when Yakuto does his destruction fist again, but this time it actually connects with Cougar's chest and sends him flying. But unlike all the other times he used his destruction fist, Cougar's actually fine. In fact, he starts laughing, and he's actually impressed that Hyun found such a reliable comrade. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the wrap-up of this fight. Instead, we learn who is spying on everyone with that giant eye in the library. It's apparently the vice principal. Bren, that giant that we get introduced earlier during the teacher's meeting. He's been spying on them this entire time. Well, I say spying. I mean, the eyeball's pretty obvious. But because Yakuto keeps mentioning the fact that he wants to kill God, Bren of course overheard this and is like, huh, this is a problem. They're looking for the book where God's weakness is in, which means he's most likely going to have even more enemies come after him. I can't imagine the principal is just going to stand there and do nothing. He's probably going to put a bounty on Class F. I say that because that's probably the only way it's going to get Makoto to join forces with Yakuto, is the fact that a bounty was placed on her head. And with her, that would officially bring everyone on the same team, the Let's Kill God team. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give a thumbs up so you enjoy more Deadrock and other main things. Thank you, and have a great day.